Well then, let's save right here, because now we are on the crossroad of Damien or Robert. Let's go with Robert first. Let me save again. So let's do it. Don't trust anyone who likes their meat well done. You've seen that tip already. If you press the ignition too long, something will happen. I haven't spoken to Robert since that night we drove out to his thinking spot. He seemed unusually somber then, like more so than the usual amount of somber that Robert is, which is already a lot. I've been thinking about him and hope he's doing okay, but I've been a little reluctant to reach out to him. Xephoria, hey Xephoria, guess who's getting their drink on tonight? I take a look at my dad book messages. There's a flurry of them from Robert. Guess. It's you. Also me, but mostly you. Yeah, dude. I type back to Robert. Robert, buddy, tonight we ride. Yes! Meet me at Jim and Kim's at 8 p.m. Not that I'm unappreciative, but I think this is the first time that Robert's given me more than an hour's warning before hanging out. Amanda! Amanda pops her head into the hallway. Music I don't recognize blaring from her room. What's up? I'm hanging out with Robert later tonight. Okay, cool. Robert, who's my friend. I have friends. I'm happy for you, Dad. People enjoy my company, Amanda. Dad, I'm so happy for your continued development as a human being. What are you listening to? Sad shit. I don't give a fuck anymore. Amanda, Link. You know what? You're an adult now. I give it an earnest effort for all 18 years of your life. I gave it an earnest effort for all 18 years of your life. Go forth and swear. Fuck yeah! I really hope I let Amanda say fuck. I really hope I don't regret this later. Amanda goes back into her room and turns up the volume to her sad shit. I'm kind of glad that I'm glad that was an achievement, to be honest. I put on my going out coat and walk over to Jim and Kim's. I spot Robert leaning against the brick wall, smoking a cigarette. As I get closer, I realize that he looks a little different. Cleaner, I guess. It actually seems like he combed his hair and his clothes are less wrinkled than usual. Hey. You take a shower just for me? I'm working on my relationship with existence. Same. We both stand there for a second and don't say anything. Robert finishes his cigarette and abruptly goes inside. I follow him. By the time I get inside, Robert's already at the bar ordering 2 whiskeys. I spot a booth in the back and claim it for us. Robert slides in and hands me a glass. To toast? Fuck. A toast. To toast. Love you, warm bread. We clink whiskeys and I watch him sip his, rather than his traditional approach of slamming the whiskey back as quickly as possible. So, what's the plan for tonight? Hit some other bars, maybe grab some pizza. I think this'll kill some time before we burn down that old abandoned house in the woods. It's definitely not as fun if it's abandoned. Mary pops over the back of the booth, a glass of wine in her hand. She punches Robert in the shoulder. Where was my phone call? Sorry, I figured you were busy sinking your teeth into some poor sap. I am. He's right here. I look around the booth to see a guy sitting across from her. He waves meekly.
Come on.
You replacing me with a new kid? Mary, I could never replace you, whether I wanted to or not. Mary leaves her booth and slides in next to Robert. The guy she was sitting with looks mildly relieved. She eyes Robert's clean pressed clothes up and down suspiciously. What, do you got a court dates coming up? He looks handsome. I think he cleans up nicely. Oh no, I'm doing bad. Pump the brakes, kid. I blush a little.
Hey.
Seriously though, what's up with you? Robert stares down at his drink, suddenly looking serious. It's happy. Doctors say it's Cirrhosis of the liver. I told that old bag of bones to quit with the sauce, but it's all he's ever known. Especially since Ma's gone. That's why I invited you out tonight. Just didn't want to be alone. Oh, come on. Xephoria, don't be an asshole. You know, the one thing Robert doesn't joke about is his pappy. I mean, I don't think he ever brought it up around me. Oops. They're giving him 2 months. I gotta help him straighten out his affairs. Robert, I'm so sorry. Robert takes a long look at his whiskey, eyeing it with the dim glow of the bar's lights. I look at his life, then I look at mine, and I know history is just doomed to repeat itself. Oh my god. I'm just kidding. He's retired with his new girlfriend in Acapulco. They watch the sunset every night. Probably screw like donkeys. Wait, aren't rabbits the ones that screw a lot? Oh, sorry. Didn't realize you were an expert on which animals screw a lot. Ugh. Please stop saying the word screw. Robert finishes his drink and slides it away from him. I get up out of the booth. Me and Xephoria are gonna hit the bricks. You coming with? Mary casts one long glance at the sad sap she's been hunting and downs the rest of her wine in one gulp. This place is dead anyways. We exit the bar and find the typically empty street filled with a small crowd of people. At the front is a guy with a really deliberate attitude and bad posture. He carries a lantern that he shines up at his face for dramatic effect. What's going on? Looks like it's one of those walking ghost tours. They do that in this part of town all the time. I've always wanted to do one of those. Huh? You know all of the stories are fake, right? Pretty much all of my stories are fake. This is research. Robert makes a beeline toward the back of the group. He turns around when he notices that I'm not following him. Come on. We can't just crash it, can we? Don't be such a square, Xephoria. Just act like you belong. Robert sidles up to the tour group. I reluctantly fall in to step behind him. Well, here goes nothing. Hey. It was in this place in 1694 that the most infamous witch trials were held. To date, we do not know if the people burned at the stake were actually witches, but it's widely reported the ghosts still haunt this hapless dive bar to this very day. It was actually 1692. Nice. What? And the site was over by the coffee shop down the road. I'm sorry. Who are you? Daniel McStrigus, ghost historian. And this is my colleague, Dr. 90s reference. Dr. Prescott, paranormal investigator extraordinaire. We're touring America's most haunted locations as research for our new book. You may have seen our ghost cameo on Paranormal House Hunters Extreme Edition. A couple of people in the group start nodding. Man, Robert's good at this. Are you guys part of the group? I don't remember seeing you at the first stop. We like to keep a low profile. Easier to catch ghosts that way. Hey. They've definitely been here. Been standing next to them the whole time. Thank you, random lady who I do not know. As I was saying, the epicenter of paranormal activity can be found at this coffee spoon over there. The man who runs it has been plagued by hauntings since he signed the lease. Damn near driven mad. Oh. But whatever you want to say is cool, I guess. It's your tour. Man, didn't know that about Matt. Wait, Robert's making this up. The rest of the tour group listens intently to Robert's every word. I think the tour guide can tell that he's losing the group. He seems to be getting flustered. Thank you for your contribution and knowledge, Mr. McStrigus. Let's move on to the next haunted location. Robert, Mary, and I follow the group down the street. That tour guide's shirt is cool. Yeah, everyone in the group gets one if we make it to the final location. I turn to Robert and grab him by the shoulders. I need that t-shirt. Well, guess we're in for this for the long haul then. Just follow my lead. Don't arouse too much suspicion. We'll have cool ghost shirts in no time. Alright. Let's see. Our group arrives at an old decrepit colonial-style house. A quick pause in the tour. My name is Quinn, but most people of the ghost tour circuit call me Tourmaster Quinn. I'm a DJ, trivia master, and part-time actor. I do private ghost huntings, events, birthday parties, MC bar mitzvahs, and perform traditional Vidilvian mime work. Tourmaster Quinn gives out headshots to all of us. His resume is on the back. Stage combat experience. Anyway, here's a little bit of the history for y'all. This was the home of noted American author Dorothy Pembridge, whose prose was wildly popular in the late 19th century. It was in the attic of this very home where she wrote such classics as The Diaries of a Victorian Mistress, Lady Fitzwilliam's Courtship, and The Ghost of the Sea Captain Brengald Barclay. She unfortunately died of consumption shortly after the turn of the century, but several people have reported that on some nights you can see a light from the attic, where the ghost of Miss Pembridge continues work on her latest bestseller. I guess you could say that she was consumed by her own work.
I am so sad.
Thanks, Brian. No reaction from the crowd. This guy seems to needs work on his dad jokes. Actually, consumption is the popular cover-up. Little known fact is that this was a murder-suicide. I'm pretty sure she died of consumption. Sure. And we definitely didn't hire Stanley Kubrick to elaborately fake the moon landing. That's the watered-down, censored version they teach you in school. But if you can't handle the real story, I understand. It's not for the faint of heart. Can we... I think everyone would much rather hear what this world-renowned ghost historian has to say, right, everybody? The group murmurs in agreement. This is a topic we cover exclusively in our book, Dr. Prescott. Would you care to tell this story? Oh no, you're putting your faith in me? Highbrow? I'm crossing my fingers. Yes. Though it's rarely covered in traditional textbooks, Dorothy Pembridge was caught in a fierce rivalry with fellow local author Livingston Price. Arthur's books were blatant rip-offs of Pembridge's works and consistently sold better. Pembridge was enraged by this and confronted Livingston Price at his home with plans to end his life. Their bitter feud surprisingly blossomed into a torrid, passionate affair. After many months of secret courtship, Pembridge followed through with her original plan and poisoned Livingston Price in his sleep. Overcome with unexpected grief, Pembridge polished off the last of the poison and died by her lover's side. Reports say that the couples who enter the house will no doubt doom their relationship to a bitter end. Man, I should bring my wife here. The entire tour group laughs heartedly. I'm kidding, my wife is dead. The crowd gasps. She was killed by a ghost. The crowd gasps again. I'm just messing with you guys. A nervous chuckle ripples through the crowd. The tour guide sees this as an opportunity to take back the group and addresses us with some razzle-dazzle. What an interesting story! Now, I just want everyone to know that this next location is extremely terrifying. If anyone thinks they can't handle it, feel free to excuse yourselves. Alright, I'm bored. Mary turns to a young guy looking at his phone and taps him on the shoulder. Hey kid, fancy buying a gal a drink? The guy looks up at her and smiles. Only if the bar is haunted. Honey, I can show you the most haunted place in town. I think I can exorcise your demons if that's what you're looking for.
Checks your dick can't cash.
That was a bit more quiet than the audio, but don't write checks your dick can't cash, kid. His eyes go wide. Mary salutes me and Robert. She suddenly pulls me into a hug and murmurs into my ear. When you've known Rob for as long as I have, you know when something's wrong. Keep an eye on him for me tonight, okay? Sure, Mary. Good man. Mary pats me on the back and pulls away. She takes the guy's hand and leads him down the street. Take it sleazy, fellas. God help that poor soul. Mary or the kid? Both.
Hey.
Jeez. Our last stop, this burial ground, is such a hotbed for horrifying paranormal activity that I'm not even sure where to begin. There's the wailing ghost of the wharf man, the vampire of Maple Bay, the children of the moonlight. What about the Dover ghost? By this point, the tour guide is clearly irritated with us. What about it?
Oh.
Oh, nothing. I just think it would be a crime to come all this way out of the cemetery, the actual origin of one of the New England's most notorious paranormal entities, and not even mention the infamous Dover ghost. That's not a real thing. This is absolutely not a real thing. I think someone needs to brush up on their paranormal history. I know tons of paranormal history. I know every ghost story in this area. I can guarantee there's one you don't know. Robert looks over at me and smiles. Would you folks care to hear the tale of how Prescott and I met? No. The entire group shushes this tour guide. Okay, fine. Tell the story. Well, it was a dark and stormy night. I wasn't actually a paranormal investigator. Way back when. I was just a traveling grifter. Moving from town to town, always looking for my next mark. It wasn't an easy life, but I had fun. Taking from the rich, giving to the poor. Actually, also taking from the poor. I had a shaky moral foundation. I happened upon the quiet town of Maple Bay quite by accident. But little did I know that this city has a dark side. Now, about the same time, I was just starting out as an apprentice to a rather famous ghost hunter who was an old family friend of mine. I carried the equipment, operated the EVP machine after all. Wait, yes? Who was the famous ghost hunter? Well, I don't like to name drop, but Georgia Mathers. The tour group gasps.
Alright.
Georgia Mathers? She's a legend! You know her? Knew her. Amazing woman. Died mysteriously. Miss you, Georgie. Anyway, we were in Maple Bay investigating some reports of strange lights and sounds coming from the cemetery late at night. Now, we had been warned by the old crypt keeper that this place was highly dangerous, but Georgia was never one to shy away from the adventure. We camped out in the center of the cemetery for 3 nights straight. We endured your so-called wailing watchman. Wailing goes to the wharf man. Whatever. Your stupid vampire was just a teenager in a mask. But the Dover ghost. Man. Tell him, Prescott. So there I was, just walking back to my hotel after a long day of running. I need to keep my story consistent, so working a couple short cons. Classic pigeon drop scam. Putting out feelers for the rip deal. I was going to steal a baby, probably. Would have made me rich. I found myself walking past this very cemetery. Now, I was never a very superstitious man, but something seemed off. I could hear some sort of commotion happening deep within the graveyard, and I felt compelled to investigate. And thank God you did. Georgia and I were conducting a seance in the mausoleum. At first, things were pretty normal, but after about an hour, everything went south. Playing back the EVP meter, we were able to hear a single word.
Really?
Run. The air suddenly went cold. Something was very, very wrong. I just knew we weren't alone. We started to hear this faint, distant scraping noise, like something being dragged across the ground. It got louder and louder, until it was deafening, some kind of demented howl. And then I felt it. Something, grabbing my ankle. Robert has the whole crowd hooked, line and sinker. You could hear a pin drop. I've only cried twice in my life. Once was at birth of my daughter. The other was when that thing started dragging me. I wasn't sure where it was taking me, but I knew it was no place I wanted to go. I was sure I was going to die. The moment I crossed the gate into the cemetery, I heard this god-awful screeching. I ran into the mausoleum just in time to see a man being pulled across the floor by... God. To this day, the mere thought of it ties my stomach into knots. It looked like a man, but I glanced at Robert. Like someone who didn't know what a man was supposed to look like tried to put one together. The arms were too long, its eyes glowed red. It was like a walking shadow. What any good person would do, I lunged for... Shoot, what was his fake name again? It was... I forgot what the first name was. Oh no. Oh no. Daniel McSturgis. Daniel. I grabbed his hand and entered into a tug of war with the unholiest of forces. I thought I was going to be torn in half, but I had God on my side. The pocket Bible I always kept on me fell out of my shirt pocket, and to this day I can remember what passage it opened up to. I literally don't know anything about it. Since last 12:7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was. The spirit shall return unto God who gave it. I have no idea where Robert pulled that verse from. With a horrifying growl, the entity finally relented. Daniel and I collapsed onto the ground, exhausted. We were both covered in blood. That damn creature clawed into my chest, got me real good. Had to get 16 stitches. Robert pulls down the collar of his shirt to reveal a long, wicked scar across his pecs. How true is this? What happened to you? And that's how I got the scar. I followed George and Mathers to the ends of the earth. We faced exorcisms, demons, poltergeists that threw our equipment across the room. But I had never seen George so scared. She was never the same after that. Neither was I. Watching what happened to Damien and George shook my faith, but I came out of that experience a better man, and a better friend. And we've been brothers ever since. The tour group gives us a round of applause as Robert and I share an emotional hug. As he embraces me, I can smell the cologne on his neck. Wow, Robert does clean up good. I find myself lingering a little too long on the hug. The tour guide seems to have bought it. Even he's wiping a tear from his eyes. Thank you. It's an honor to be able to share our story. Be sure to watch out for our book. Paranormal Excursions of the Supernatural Ice Road Ghost Truckers. Robert has to suppress a laugh at that one.
That's the good stuff.
Well, I think you both definitely earned your t-shirts. The tour guide hands us the coveted t-shirts. He then slips us both his business card and leans in close.
That's the good stuff.
If you guys are ever in need of a professional actor, balloon animal artist, Elvis impersonator, or nude model, please don't hesitate to contact me. You got it, buddy. After a couple of tourists take selfies with us, we split away from the group and walk home. That was incredible. I really can't believe they bought all of that. I didn't know you had it in you, Xephoria. Excuse me, Dr. Prescott. That bit about the pocket Bible was aces, although giving the Denver ghost glowing red eyes was a little cliche. And the cubic conspiracy theory bit wasn't. All a part of the character. Well, we've got the shirts out of it. We arrive in front of Robert's house. Want to have a drink? Is that even a question? Robert, how long have you known me for? Do you really think I would turn down the opportunity to share a fine alcoholic beverage with my treasured friend and accomplice, Mr. Robert Bobbert Small? If you ever call me Bobbert again, I will kick you right in the shins. Both of them. Then you can expect an angry phone call from my orthopedist in the morning. Bobbert. Robert just laughs and starts unlocking his door. My shins live to die another day.